To order. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Here.
Hill?
Here.
Sutherland?
Here.
Mangus?
Here.
Mayor Call?
Here.
All are present.
Very good. Please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the pledge.
Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and every day you give us. We ask you guide us to be caring and understanding people, that we have open minds to those different from us. Let us embrace our differences and value each other's contributions. Heavenly Father, thank you for all of our blessings. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the minutes, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the minutes of the regular meeting held on September 17, 2019 be approved as printed.
I have a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mangus?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Very good, thank you. Have one proclamation this evening. It's Fire Prevention Week. Whereas the City of East Peoria is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting here, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at greatest risk from fire, and whereas home fires killed 2,630 people in the United States in 2017, according to the National Fire Protection Association, and fire departments in the United States responded to 357,000 home fires. And whereas the majority of the U.S. fires occur at home each year, and whereas East Peoria residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas East Peoria residents should practice their home fire escape drill at least twice a year during the day and at night. And whereas the 2019 Fire Prevention Week theme, Not Every Hero Wears a Cape, Plan and Practice Your Escape, serves to remind us that we need to take personal steps to increase our safety from fire. Therefore, I, John P. Call, Mayor of the City of East Peoria, do hereby proclaim October 6th through the 12th, 2019 as Fire Prevention Week. And I urge all the people of East Peoria to be aware of their surroundings, look for available ways out in the event of a fire or other emergency, respond when the smoke alarm sounds by exiting the building immediately, and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of the East Peoria Fire Department. Commissioner, anything you'd like to say?
No, just echo what the mayor said as far as having a plan and making sure that families know what to do, and preparing to be safe is the number one thing. Prevention is the key.
Just a little follow-up. We appreciate everything the personnel on the East Peoria Fire Department do. I know they've had a very busy day today, and I think they were just full force down here not too long ago. So we appreciate what you do. Any public comment from anyone in the audience on an agenda item? Anyone wishing to address the council on an agenda item, please come forward. Seeing no one. Very good. Consent agenda. Commissioner Hill.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt the consent agenda consisting of items numbered 1 through 3. Item number 1, adoption of resolution number 1920-062, resolution to approve payment of the scheduled bills listed on Schedule 10 in the amount of $857,030.60. Item number 2, adoption of ordinance number 4455 on its second reading, an ordinance authorizing a special use for property located at 225 Edgewood Drive in the city of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, to allow placement of 2 accessory structures, storage sheds, on the property. And item number 3, adoption of resolution number 1920-060 on its second reading, resolution to approve contract for engineering services with Midwest Engineering Associates for Camp Street, River Road, signalized intersection improvements, as listed on the agenda for this meeting to be considered by omnibus vote.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mangus?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I move that items number 1 through 3 listed on the consent agenda be hereby approved and adopted, and the items numbered 2 and 3 having been read once by their title and having laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Commissioner Hill?
Aye.
Commissioner Sutherland?
Aye.
Commissioner Mangus?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I have 2 items tonight. First one, an ordinance authorizing and providing for the issuance of not to exceed $18,225,000 taxable general obligation refunding bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2019, for the purpose of refunding certain outstanding alternative revenue bonds of the city, authorizing the execution of a bond of order in connection therewith, pledging certain revenues of the city, providing for the imposition of taxes to pay the same, authorizing the execution of an escrow agreement in connection therewith, and authorizing the sale of said bonds to the purchaser thereof. Be accepted on the first reading as read by the title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
And what this is the refunding of our existing bonds. They were issued in 2010. And this is similar to refinancing your house. And that's what we're doing here. That the refunding of those bonds that were issued in 2010, the market conditions have improved in such a fashion that we will experience $1.527 million over the remaining 14 years on the bonds. And so we're reissuing these bonds, and we're going to save the city over the remaining part, $1.5 million. So,
Very good. Any other comments from the council? Discussion? Hearing none. Roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Commissioner Hill?
aye.
Commissioner Sutherland?
Aye.
Commissioner Mangus?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
One more item, Mr. Mayor. Resolution, whereas vacancy exists on the East Peoria Zoning Board of Appeals as a result of Norman Sales' resignation, and whereas the Honorable Mayor John P. Call has recommended the appointment of Gina Driscoll to fill the vacancy of the Zoning Board of Appeals, now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that the appointment by Mayor John P. Call of Gina Driscoll to the East Peoria Zoning Board of Appeals to fill the unexpired term ending April 30th, 2021, and that this resolution number 1920-064 be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
I had the opportunity within the last year to meet Mrs. Driscoll, and she expressed interest in being more involved in the city. And I think this is a good opportunity, and I think she'll do a great job.
Any other comments from the council?
I agree. She's a good person, and I look forward to her being in that position.
Well said by both, and I know she's attended the council meetings for quite some time now, and we've always appreciated her fact that she's willing to serve in any capacity. So thanks for stepping up. Roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Commissioner Hill?
Aye.
Commissioner Sutherland?
Aye.
Commissioner Mangus?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
That is all for me, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. Commissioner Decker.
One item, Mayor, for the agenda. Resolution number 1920-063, be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois. The resolution number 1920-063 hereto attached. A resolution to approve contracts for Access Road 6 improvement project be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 1920-063 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mangus.
Ty, I know we've talked about this before. Let you go forward.
Certainly. Thank you, Commissioner. So this is a unique project in that we have road projects throughout the community, but in this case, we have adjacent property owners that are really driving this one. In fact, the proposal here is that the costs for the project are being borne by these adjacent property owners. The city is facilitating this special service area that was established at our last meeting. And so in this case, it's going to be split out over a 10-year period, but it's a little different creature. And so what we've looked at is to ensure that the road project is covered by the SSA. We're going to make sure that if there are any components that are under the road that need to be removed or replaced prior to this work commencing, but the goal is to try to get this done yet this construction season, which time is running very short.
As I said last time, there are many places that need repair, and the city doesn't have the funds to repair all of them as we should or as we would like to. This is an opportunity. The business owners stepped up and said, hey, we would like to make our road better prior to the city being able to afford to get it done. So as much as we would like to repair every road that we are responsible for, we certainly support them doing so, and I'm eager for this to move forward.
Any other discussion, comments from the council?
The only thing I'd like to say, and it's really due, and there's going to be some city participation, I think, in as far as the stormwater culverts.
I think we're still working through some of those things as we final speak. We have some concerns and some needs for replacing some culverts and whatnot, and I believe we're going to be addressing those.
Yeah, like I said last time we talked about this, anytime along a road you see a cattail that's 12 feet tall, there's a water problem, needs to be addressed, unless you're trying to grow cattails.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Commissioner Hill?
Aye.
Commissioner Sutherland?
Aye.
Commissioner Mingus?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
That's all I have right now, Mayor.
Commissioner Sutherland.
Mr. Mayor, it's pretty quiet out this end. I have nothing for tonight.
Wow, okay, very good. Commissioner Mingus.
Mr. Mayor, I have one item. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that Resolution Number 1920-065, hereto attached, a resolution approving a collective bargaining agreement between the City of East Peoria and the International Association of Firefighters, Local Number 1498, for a period beginning May 1st, 2019, and terminating on April 30th, 2024, be approved.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. This is as is stated, a 5-year agreement with the East Peoria Fire Department's collective bargaining unit. You will notice, I think, first that the start date of this contract is May 1st, 2019, which means that we are way overdue for having contracts since their previous contract expired April 30th of 2019. As with any contract negotiations, they take time, and I think any contract that you negotiate is probably isn't perfect for either side. And I would say that this fits that. It's not perfect for either side, but I believe that it's fair for both sides. And I think that's what a good contract is fair for both sides. The main highlights of this contract is that it is a 5-year contract with increases as the increases are 1.5, 1.75, 1.75, 2, and 2.25 over the 5 years, and that's an average of 1.85 for the average of the contract. It has some other language changes in it regarding manning. It's got a sick time buyout where employees who are maxed out have the opportunity to sell their sick time at 75 cents on the dollar, which we believe will save us in some overtime cost. And like I said, it has some manning changes, wording as far as hopefully helping the chief and his assistant chiefs and deputy chiefs be able to man equipment a little bit easier and move firefighters a little bit easier. I'd like to thank the fire union. I'd like to thank Bobby Zimmerman, their president, and his executive board. This has been a lengthy process. We worked hard on it, and they deserve a lot of credit. They negotiated in good faith, and they realized that the predicament the city's in with their finances. And like last time when they negotiated 3 years ago, they worked with us I believe that they worked with us fairly, and they have always recognized where the city is financially and have put that in their mind when we come to terms. So I'm excited that we're having this voted on. It's been a long process. I think we started, I see Bobby in the crowd, I think we started pretty much a week after I took office on negotiations, and I'm not exaggerating when I'd say that we may have hour phone calls to try to come to terms and get something that's agreeable to both sides. So I appreciate that, and that's really all I have to say about it.
Okay. Any other comments?
Yeah, I'll just say a couple. Again, as Commissioner Mingus has already said, as part of this bargaining process, both sides do not get everything they want, but I think this is a fair and equitable agreement, and I'm glad that we're going to be able to possibly get this behind us tonight. So,
Any other discussion?
Sure, I'd like to put my 2 bits in. I just got a copy of this today. I didn't read it. I tried. I didn't have enough time. Actually, it looks pretty good, all in all, on the verbiage. And the money, I have a little bit of a problem with that because the street department, they got 1.75. That's what we were told we could spend. I was told that was what we could afford. I know that this contract extends a little bit farther out. I get it. Still averages out to 1.85. My big deal is residency. I don't care. You work for the city, you live in the city. I've said that from go, and I'm going to stick by my guns just for that reason. Residency, to me, it wouldn't affect anybody that's already here. Everybody that lives outside the city, come and go as they please, but the new hirees would be asked to live in our city and participate in our ways within our city boundaries, within 1.5 miles of the city of East Peoria, actually, the way we have everything constructed right now. It doesn't cost anything for that. That's a freebie. That's a free thing. I can't support this because of that.
Fair enough. So this is a difficult point in time. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Wednesday of last week, thought we had an agreement in place that I could support, they could support. Some additional information was left out of that discussion, and I'm not going to point fingers. It's just a miscommunication. I'll own it as the city representative. It's unfortunate. I'm not going to support what's in writing tonight. And here's why. There's a couple things I want to clarify. I agree to the 5 years. I agreed to the wage increases. They gave up something on the backside to get the wage increases and the 5 years. And in fairness to them, that was negotiated in good faith on both parties' parts. So I wanted to defend them. It's a little different than Public Works. When you look at the first 3 years of this agreement, it's 1.5%, 1.75, 1.75. So if you do 3 years versus 3 years, they come in just a little bit under that. But to get to that 5 years, they also gave up some longevity that wasn't mentioned here this evening. So I was on board last Wednesday. There's one provision, which Commissioner Mingus mentioned, which is the buyout of sick time. I don't support that. I can't support that. Just from a city perspective, whether the numbers work for this particular department, my concern is across the board. So, this is my opportunity to share why. It is nothing personal. It's just unfortunate. It's where we're at. It was a part that was left out of the conversation, and for that reason, not because it was left out, I don't support that provision in the agreement. So I won't be supporting it this evening.
If I could say one other thing, Your Honor. Sure. One other difference, I know Commissioner Southern brought up Public Works, and one other difference with the firefighters and any of our other unions or groups of employees is firefighters are on a 7-year step, and the police and Public Works are not. So what that means is our firefighters don't reach full base until year 7, where our other groups reach full base at, let's say, year 4. So that's a lot of money out of years 4, 5, and 6 for a firefighter. that the other employees are at full base on. And that was something that the firefighters agreed to 3 years ago. Again, bargaining in good faith and realizing where the city is. And I think that when we do look at comparing, it's hard to compare without acknowledging the 7-year step. So thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, point well taken. Any other comments? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Mayor, I'd like to
Hold
interrupt.
on, you can save your comments for the end of the meeting, please. Be
End of the
respectful.
meeting.
You'll have time for comments at the end of the meeting. We have to take roll call. We'll give you some time at the end. Roll call.
Okay.
Should I start over?
No, I believe Commissioner Decker voted aye.
Okay. Commissioner Hill?
Aye.
Commissioner Sutherland?
No.
Commissioner Mingus?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
No.
I have 3 ayes and 2 nays, Your Honor.
Very good, thank you.
That's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
Very good. Any comments from the public on a non-agenda item? Anyone wish to address the council? Yes, sir, please step forward.
Good evening, everybody, and also fellow citizens who are watching on TV.
Excuse me, could you say your name, please?
George Herman. I'm with the local VFW post here in town, Post 2078. And for the last maybe 80 years, we've been having a parade on November. And it's coming up again. November's coming up. And we are inviting all former military or existing or active duty persons to participate with us. Come and join us for a march. It's less than a mile long, and we've been doing this for a long time. In fact, we're Hasbro County's oldest Veterans Parade, continuous Veterans Parade. It'll be November 9th on Saturday, and we line up at 1 o'clock and step off at 1:30. And I hope to see you city council members there too also. We are also kicking off the East Peoria Grade School the Patriot Art Contest, where the kids are from 3rd to 8th grade are invited to participate in a art contest that we use in our posters, our signs. And anyhow, again, we're approaching that period of time again, and I'd like to have more participation from the audience. And thank you, folks.
Mr. Herman?
Thank you.
Did the parade route change? Is it the same route that's been in the past, or wasn't there a change to the route?
There had been, but
There was a recommended change that is still up for somewhat of a discussion. I've talked with Mr. Herman,
Okay.
so.
really, I thought it was a done deal.
Yeah, well, we need to further discuss it, and I'd prefer to do so privately.
Yeah, okay, sure.
You said it started at 11:30, sir?
Yeah.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, sorry.
Show
Thank
up
you.
time, and then 1:30 we step off.
1:30, all right.
Okay. Yeah, I'll schedule a meeting with you. And it was based off a conversation I had with the police department this morning, so. Okay?
Very good, okay.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the Mr. Sinks?
Got up here in my mind blank. Well, ain't nothing new.
I call that a
What
brain
is
fart.
craft marijuana?
A craft grower?
I don't know. The last meeting it was mentioned about craft marijuana. I just want to know what it is.
Well, in the Recreational Cannabis Act that the state just passed, there's what's called a craft grower. Kind of like, I don't know, Ty, maybe you could explain it better than I can, but my
Kinda like craft
understanding is
brewery.
similar to craft brewery, where these people grow recreational marijuana and like out of I don't know if it's out of their residence or a business. I don't think it's residential.
No, it's a business, a much smaller
Yeah.
operation, though, than a dispensary would be.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they
it's a-
basically,
It's a business thing?
Yes.
Oh, it's a business thing. All of it's business. Anything that has to do with the license is a business, and it's regulated by the state.
Okay,
But that's why that language is in there. They created what's called a craft grower.
okay. How many plants is these private individuals gonna be able to grow?
You mean the craft growers?
No, the way I got it, people, residents, if you get one
no.
of them cards, you can grow it at home. Maybe I
No.
misunderstood it all.
Well, if you have a medical cannabis card, you can grow up, I believe, to 5 plants or something like that. That's a little different than the recreational.
Okay, I just got it wrong.
Oh, no, yeah,
I
it's
just
not
want-
recreational.
I
I think a
thought,
lot
well,
of
you
people
know.
that are hopeful that they get to do whatever they want, they better go read the law, because it's not the case.
Yeah, well, I was just curious. I thought, well, you could be starting a real good part-time business here. Everybody roll their own, and they could be the manufacturer, the distributor, and the whole 9 yards.
No, sir, it does not work that way. It's all done by a license, so, yeah.
I could touch on something else, but I'm gonna be good for a while.
Okay, Bob. Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the council on a non-agenda item? Please step forward. Seeing no one. Very good. Comments from the council. Commissioner Decker.
I have 3 items, Mayor, but before I get into those, I think what Mr. Sutherland was going to talk about a few minutes ago, I'm going to go ahead and mention now, just to go ahead and state it. As you all notice, I voted on the contract tonight with Firefighters Union. I'm no longer in the Firefighters Union. I am a member of, I'm assistant chief now, I was promoted last, I think, January. It's been quite a bit of debate with myself, but of whether it's a legal thing, a legal, I guess, right or obligation to do so. It's not something that I wanted to do. It would have been a lot easier on me personally if I had just abstained. But it got to the point where it was a deadlock, and if a contract did not pass, it was going to go to arbitration, I believe. I spoke with Dennis before the meeting as well, and believed that arbitration is what we were looking at. So I believe that would have been extremely costly to the city, which is why I chose to vote. Nothing in the contract affects me. I receive no more pay benefits. Nothing in my job changes. But I just wanted to be open and tell everybody about that. I believe we have another vote on this in a couple weeks, Mayor. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. But I just wanted to clear that up. And I do have a couple other things. First of all, recycling event. We have these often hosted by Dave Kaler. These are for your electronics that you'd like to get rid of and are just difficult to get rid of. Saturday, October 5th, 9 a.m. to noon, and it's going to be at the,
I think it's at the PDC facility.
yeah, I believe you're right. It's something, the Illinois Route 29 South Peak, and it's, I'll just give you the address, 14379 Illinois Route 29. Area Recycling Incorporated is what it's called. But thought I'd push that out. Senator Kaler does a good job with those events. It's often difficult to get rid of recycling, like electronics, and it's good that those come up that we can. Next, we have our bulb sale, which is also on October 5th. That's 9 to noon, and that's going to be right here at the Civic Complex. It says 9 to noon or until sold out, and I think usually it's until sold out. It sells out quickly, and they are always very sought after, and it's something that people look forward to. Finally, full swing right now, we are into Cleanup Week. Cleanup Week is one of those things that has been highly discussed, debated, talked about over the last few years. And Cleanup Week is something that a lot of people in East Peoria cherish the ability to do. The problem is there have been people over time who have chosen to put out too much stuff. I've mentioned before there are instances where people have encouraged people from outside of the city of East Peoria to bring things to their yards and just allow the city to take care of those. We did implement a plan a couple years ago that all what you can put out must fit on a 4x8 sheet of plywood, just because we want to make sure that nobody's taking advantage of the city. The residents of the community pay for this, and we want to make sure that this remains something that is there for the residents. So We are going to continue this week. We are running behind. I spoke with one of the foremen today that they weren't able to get done with all of today's route. So if you put your stuff out today and it didn't get picked up, don't worry yet, because they are going to run. Chances are they'll be probably finishing this into the beginning part of next week. So hopefully it goes well. There are also people that are traveling around picking up things. So if you have anything that is important to you, don't leave it close to the road this time of year. Those things tend to disappear. I think Mayor Mingus years ago told a story about something, I think it might have been a bike or something, that he put a little bit too close and it was gone. So I myself put out some metal and it was gone within a few hours. So something that people look forward to in our city. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Commissioner Hill?
Two things tonight. Last farmer's market this Friday, 4 to 7, is that correct time?
That was last week.
No, it was last Friday. I think that rained
Okay.
out, so.
Yeah, I forget that we go every other week, so, sorry, you missed it. Schedule of bills. You hear me, and usually I may make a comment during the schedule of bills, and I encourage everybody to take a look at them. And they fluctuate, and this particular meeting is only 850,000. Usually they're over $1 million, but one of the costs that I wanted to point out is annually, and some people know this, that we give a support payment to the Northern Tazewell Fire Department, and that was included in this month's this meeting's bills at $74,984. And again, I encourage you, if you want to see the full detail of the $857,000, it's out there. I occasionally bring these up so people are aware of what's in there, even just spot check. But that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Very good, thank you. Commissioner Sutherland?
Yeah, I got something to say I wish I could have said earlier, but listen, I don't mean to be the naysayer here on stuff. I swear to God I don't. But school teachers, police officers, city workers, county workers, etc., cannot be elected and vote in the same area that they work. Firemen, because of Don Saltzman, back in the day, got a special deal on why, I don't know. I may never find out, I don't know. I'm not opposed to the contract because of the wording of the contract. There's a few things I didn't like, and like they said, you don't get everything you want. Miner's residency. I think that the police and the fire department should live in this town. That's the way it's going to be. If people don't like what I have to say, in 3.5 years, throw me out. It's all good. You ain't going to hurt my feelings none. But I have a problem with a fireman, no matter where he's working at inside the department, no matter how it's structured, it all feeds back. I mean, if school teachers get 5% raise, then the administration is going to get about 5% raise. I mean, it's all part and parcel. It's all worked together. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know what my legal rights are or aren't. But if I can, I hope I don't have to do it by myself. If I can, I'm going to legally challenge this vote, and I'm going to take it as far as I can go. Because I do not think that it's morally correct. I don't think it's legally correct. And when a man runs for office and he says, and I know that I've heard that he said to do with his pay and his wage, I get it. But in the past, he hasn't voted for a lot of things, and he had a conflict in his mind now. So if that tells me that there's a lot of room for error. So I don't know what my next step is. I am going to talk to the city attorney and see if I can get some guidance from Miller Hall and Triggs and see what I can do. That's it on that point. If anybody has any objections with that, I apologize. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but it is the right thing to do, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, next subject. The rain has really slowed us down on our project, but it hasn't stopped us. I'm going to get with the techie people here at the city and see if I can't arrange to get some pictures for you guys to show how far along we've come, and we've done a lot of work down there. It's going well. Nobody, as far as I know, during our meetings this morning when we were talking, nobody's gotten hurt down there, which is a big thing because they were working in some hazardous areas right now. So that's all I got, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Mingus.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have two things. One, I'll just comment quickly on what Commissioner Sutherland said. I'm not going to get into the debate of that. I think that's something that Commissioner Decker probably has thought long and hard about. And I'll just say this for him. I asked him if he wanted to say anything, and he said no. I will note for him that his position in the fire department now is different than it has been when he was abstaining on certain issues. He's no longer in the collective bargaining agreement, and when he was abstaining, he was. But that's all I'll say on his behalf. I guess I'll say one more thing on his behalf, too. I think what he did for the city is the right thing. Arbitration is not a route that I believe is good for the city, and I think that Commissioner Decker truly had the best interest of the city in mind when he cast his vote, and I think the citizens should be appreciative of that. Secondly, sticking on the topic of fire, it's been Fire Prevention Week, and we've got a fire contract that we voted on today. In the past, Commissioner Hill has pointed out where Facebook sometimes posts inaccurate information, and that's frustrating for us who know what the accurate information is, because social media, while nice for some people, I think can be a detriment also, because false information or propaganda could be thrown out there. Recently, I was forwarded a few. I don't have Facebook. That's probably why I don't have it, but people forward me things that are posted, and there were some posts regarding the Northern Tazewell Fire Department, or I guess reference, I'm not sure it came directly from them, but definitely was associated with them, regarding East Peoria's agreement with them that Commissioner Hill mentioned in the bills. And I want to clear a few things up, because I think that's our job as public elected officials to do. So we do have an agreement with Northern Tazewell Fire Department. We approved that a few months ago. We just paid the bill for that. Northern Tazewell, it is Sunnyland, but it's not just Sunnyland. It's Sunnyland, it's Cypress Ridge, it's Highview Estates, it's Windsong Estates. It's basically when you get out past Quell Meadows, and then you go up Washington Street up towards the movie theater there. That's all Northern Tazewell, considered Northern Tazewell. The thing about that area is those citizens pay taxes to the city of East Peoria. So while they may live in Sunnyland or some of their addresses may actually be Washington, when they pay their taxes, they pay it to the corporate limit. They pay it to the corporate, East Peoria corporate, which means they're paying for the service of the East Peoria Fire Department. I would argue all day that that's a service that people want. We are a rare community where we have, not only do we have a full-time fire department, that if your house catches on fire, you call 911, you've got someone there in 3 to 5 minutes. We also have our own full-time paramedics. And that's different than Morton, or that's different than even Peoria, who contracts that out. And so my issue with what was said on Facebook is it was implied that East Peoria should not be responding up there. That we should end our dual dispatch that we talked about. And I'm adamantly opposed to that for the simple fact that I don't think that that's fair for the citizens that live up there. If you live in, let's say, Cypress Ridge, and you live a mile down the road than somebody who lives in Stony Brook, okay, and you have a heart attack, a mile, and you pay the exact same taxes to the exact same taxing body, a mile should not determine your quality of care. And while I believe there is a purpose for Northern Tazewell, the guys up there, I think they can serve a purpose, and they can respond to the BLS, the basic life support calls. If you have an ALS call and you live in those neighborhoods, you deserve to have the highest quality of care. And I truly believe that the highest quality of care comes with an East Peoria ambulance coming to your house. If I were to move from my residence off of Fond du Lac Drive to Cypress Ridge, which honestly my wife and I have talked about doing, I would be very upset if I had a heart attack and I didn't get the same service that I'm going to currently get now in a year if I were to move, knowing the taxes people pay. So I truly believe that is what's in the best interest of those citizens. It's not about departments, or it's not about bashing Northern Tazewell. I think that they have a purpose. But I think it's fair to point out that it's quality of care. And to back that up, because I wrote an editorial in the paper because I was frustrated, and I think that's the appropriate avenue to go if you're going to write, put it in the paper, let that be vetted, not Facebook. But East Peoria Fire Department treated and transported 3,253 patients last year, calendar year. Northern Tazewell, 534. East Peoria Fire Department requires all of its employees to be paramedics by the end of year 3. Northern Tazewell does not. So it's not just me sitting up here being the Commissioner of Public Health and Safety at East Peoria saying I think that that's the highest quality of care. I think that those two statistics back that up. The other thing that was out there is that the city of East Peoria is keeping the Northern Tazewell Fire Department from going to be an ALS ambulance service. And that simply is not true either. We don't determine the level of service for ambulances. That's a job of the medical director, not the city of East Peoria. All we have said, and we've been adamant about from day one, at least this council, and I believe prior councils, is that the only ambulance service that's going to run calls to our taxpayers who pay for our service, ALS calls, are going to be the East Peoria Fire Department. And that's because we believe that's what the citizens deserve. We have never told the Northern Tazewell Fire Department that they cannot have ALS service in the county. We've never said that. We just said that in the city of East Peoria, those residents pay taxes for our guys. We feel that those guys give a high quality of care, and we want those residents to be served by them because that's what they pay for and deserve. We have also told the Northern Tazewell Fire Department that they are more than welcome to continue running basic life support calls or BLS calls, and we've encouraged them to do that. We have not tried to run them off from doing those. And so those are the facts associated with our agreement with Northern Tazewell. And there are other things that I could get into regarding the contract and aspects that they haven't fulfilled. And I'm not going to get into that today because for me today it's about quality of care for our residents and what people pay for. But I want to go on record and I want the public to know that those are the facts behind it. And I support what we're doing as far as dual dispatch and we'll continue to do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's it. Very good. So just a couple things. I know the word arbitration was used tonight, and in my humble opinion, that's a subjective word because nowhere did I hear or any discussions that I had tell me that if I didn't vote for this tonight, it was going to arbitration. So I want to make that clear. That had nothing to do with my decision here this evening on the fire contract. Not to say it wouldn't have ended up there, I can't speak to that. And I don't think anybody sitting up here can, because that discussion never got to that point. So I want to make that clear. Speaking of the fire department, they do free car seat checks. So on a positive note, tomorrow, from 1 to 4 at Central House, 201 West Washington, I encourage you to take advantage of that service. It's free. So if there's ever a doubt that you don't have the car seat in right, go get it checked out. They do a phenomenal job. The East Peoria Police Department, so they're preparing to accept applications. I know we don't have a date, do we, Chief? But it's in October. It's going to be sometime
Yeah,
this
about the
month.
middle of October, somewhere around October 16th is for about a 2-week period of time, so roughly in that area is when it'll start.
Okay. And then testing, I assume, it looks like it's going to be scheduled for some time in November. Is that correct?
The Police Fire Commission will put out those dates when the testing is.
Okay. So hopefully we have that information soon, but I'm just putting it out there because I don't know what lies behind the reason for it, but both in police and fire, and it's widespread. It's not just an East Peoria problem. Getting qualified candidates to sign up, when you look at these lists, for example, in the police department, Chief can speak to this, we have nobody, we're short. So we're going through this process. So I highly encourage people, if you have an interest, it's a great career, doesn't matter if you're in the blue or in the red, but give it some serious consideration. But we'll do a better job from a city standpoint of promoting this stuff when these opportunities come up. So I just wanted to point that out. But listen, tough night for a lot of people. Personally, I was hoping that Commissioner Decker wasn't put in a position where he had to cast a vote either way, but unfortunately, that's where it ended up tonight. I know there's differing opinions on that, and we'll just see where it ends. But anyway, that's all I have. Seek a motion to adjourn.
That's me. Mr. Mayor, I move that we adjourn until Tuesday evening, October 15th, 2019, at 6 PM.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Very good. Discussion, hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Commissioner Hill?
Aye.
Commissioner Sutherland?
Aye.
Commissioner Mingus?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye,
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
thank you. So we are adjourned until we meet again. Thank you.